Hey everyone, John here, and I am joined by the beautiful Steve Bowling.
Hello.
The gorgeous Ash Paulson.
Hey, how's it going?
The stupendous Derek Bittner.
Hello.
And the sexy Daniel Alba.
Well, hello, everybody.
Wow, it's getting
Hello.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
Go on.
We are at the launch of a brand new Sonic compilation. Sonic Origins is about to come out. And I was thinking there have been a lot of Sonic compilations over the years, and I wanted to go through most of them and try ranking to see which one is the best. Now, there have been a lot of them over the years. I've narrowed it down to 15, but there are way more than 15. There's PC compilation packs, there's fun packs, and we're not counting those. If it's like a compilation of Sonic R and Sonic 3D Blast, just like 2 discs in one, that doesn't count. We're looking at full-on collections, full-on compilations. So this is what we ended up with. So fellas, are you ready to rank some Sonic compilations?
I am.
I'm
if
ready.
If we're trying to find the
Hell
best,
yeah.
are we only going to have one S tier? I guess I should put that question out to you right away.
Ooh, yeah, you know
There will
what?
only be one.
Yeah, can two, yeah, there can only be one. There can
Really?
only be one.
Well, I already know what Steve's S1 S tier is,
Right.
because that's tough. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Damn
I
right.
made. I just made this significantly harder for Steve.
Yeah.
Listen,
Steve's eyeing up a
plead
certain
my
Garfield,
case.
I think.
that's right.
This is going to be pretty tough. Yeah. All right.
Alright, well let's start off with the very first one. This is Sonic Compilation, which is called Sonic Classics in Europe. And it's basically the very first Sonic compilation. This has Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Mean Bean Machine all on one cartridge. They just crammed them into one Mega Drive cartridge. How are we feeling about this?
I have to be honest, I had never heard of this before this recording right now. I never knew this existed.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't do anything new. It's just one cartridge. It's nothing new. They didn't add anything to these games. It's just the same ones, just on one cart.
I feel like this is a good baseline
Man.
game. And the reason I feel that is because, unlike most of the compilations we're going to look at, this one is not emulated at all. So it should be performance perfect, I imagine.
It's a hard one to rank because it's not like it's something new. It's the same games on the same console, but it's kind of cool that they fit 3 of them into one cartridge.
Yeah,
Maybe for the
I think
novelty?
it's a B because it's very
Yeah.
average. It's like what you should expect, like perfect performance.
Very.
Is B the average or is C the average?
I'm just looking at the tier list and it fits like right in the middle.
In the middle. I think C is probably a little lower than average, given the
think-
scale we have here.
yeah.
It is pretty baseline. Like, it has Mean Bean Machine, which is essentially Puyo Puyo, so I can't argue with that.
But I'm definitely wavering between like A and B for this. The trouble is we haven't actually played this particular compilation, so we don't know if there are any. I mean, well, it's not even emulation, but we don't know if there are any issues with it, right? There shouldn't
Right,
be.
yeah.
Right.
Theoretically, I think B is probably safer.
My thought is, I kind of want to put it C. Obviously, it should have the perfect play style just because it is all there. Although maybe it got a little cramped because it is fitting all in one disc. But I guess that didn't affect the Mario All-Stars collection. But because we're only having one S, I still don't know whether B or C is our average. Is our mid tier.
Yeah, maybe we're being too kind. This might be we got to set the standard here.
Okay,
Put
yeah,
it into
let's do
this
it.
This is a
game.
lot of great compilations.
We're Sonic
all right.
fans. We're hard on this.
Wow, I convinced one guy convinced 4 others.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I was gonna stick with B
now that
actually, but fair enough.
Now that we've set a standard, though,
boy.
let's bring that standard way down, perhaps way up. This is the Sonic and Garfield pack. And you're probably thinking, Sonic and Garfield, that must be 2 games. But no, it's 3 games. So in this pack, we've got Sonic 3 Complete, which I guess is also 2 games. That's Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. We've also got Garfield Caught in the Act, and Baku Baku, which is a puzzle game. Nothing to do with Sonic or Garfield. And before we keep going with this, Sonic 3 Complete in itself is also a compilation. So that's the PC version of
right.
Sonic 3 Complete. So that means you get the original PC tracks of Sonic 3, which is what we're getting with Sonic Origins, but in the original PC form, so it sounds really low quality. So yeah, keep into account what that is. But how are we feeling about Sonic 3 Complete, Garfield Caught in the Act, and Baku Baku?
Guys, I kid you not. Right here, I'm showing you. You can't see it, but I'm showing you. I have the Game Gear version of Caught in the Act in my hands right now.
Oh wow!
I have played this
Wow.
game. I have played this game. And you don't want to. You would much rather play Sonic or even Baku Baku probably. But I'm
Really?
just amazed. I'm so amazed that this game in particular is with Sonic. of all things. They look so...
Box art is so
It's
funny.
so weird. I kind of figured I figured the unholy union between Garfield and Sonic alone is probably worthy of at least an A, but if you say the game's that bad, Daniel, then probably not.
I mean,
I mean, that is the Game Gear version.
That is the Game Gear version.
What if the PC
That's
version's
true.
a masterpiece?
Yeah.
who would have
It's
thought
true.
that? Who would have thought to bring together the fastest thing alive with the slowest thing alive?
Right? I mean, I feel like for novelty alone, this has to be a little bit higher than C, right? I mean, just for the
I looked
novelty.
up some old reviews, and GamePro said colorful backgrounds and big sprites will charm cartoon lovers, but Garfield's slow movements and weak moves make the game too frustrating.
God, don't remind me.
The tedious gameplay and hopeless controls will disgruntle everyone else.
He like throws these little pebbles at an awkward arc to fight his enemies. He's like inside a television. It's a stupid plot. I don't know why we're even talking about this right now. We just move on with this and talk about Sonic instead. This freaking game. It's come back to haunt me again. And I had like nothing else to play on the Game Gear except like that and a few Sonic ones, which we're going to talk about later on. But
Yeah.
but
I just love Sonic and Garfield folding their arms back
I
to
know.
back.
They look-
that alone
Like we're
feels like
buddies.
A tier.
Yeah, it's an
That's-
S tier.
Yeah.
that's an OVA
Their
right
shared
there.
attitude.
This is like what would happen if a fanfic became a game. I love it.
yeah.
This is the be-
Give me a subpar version of Sonic 3, a bad game, and then an inexplicable third game that doesn't match the theme of either of the two games on the board. This is clearly Sega's best effort.
I don't like
Yeah, John,
how
you're in the right place. You're in the right place, my man.
Can we talk Steve out of S, or are we going A?
oh
my gosh. How's Baku Baku Animal? Do we know
Well,
anything about that one?
I'll tell you one thing. If you look up the box art, you will be not having good dreams that night because that box art
No,
is
that's for
terrifying.
Oh wow! Holy hell! I just looked it up.
Yeah.
That is something.
I think Sonic and Garfield belongs in A tier, but
Yeah, that
Yeah,
the
it's
box art for
terrifying.
Baku Baku puts it over the top for me. That's an A tier release.
yeah, that's A tier.
I'm buying this tonight.
God damn it.
This next game though is incredible. This is Sonic Jam for the Sega Saturn.
Sonic Jam.
And this, yeah, that's what you see on the title screen
Yeah.
when you boot it up. It's so good. It's such a good compilation though. So this is one generation after the Mega Drive, and they've brought Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles together. And there's also Sonic World. But the big thing about this though is these aren't emulated. Basically, every compilation we're talking about after this emulates the games, but with this, no. They've ported them to the Saturn, which means all the slowdown from the originals does not exist. In the PAL regions, the Sonic 1 has full speed songs, so there's no longer like 50 hertz, Green Hill, and all that. So this is just an amazing version for preserving the original games.
Yeah.
And it's the only ported version of Sonic 3, of the original version anyway. So Sonic Origins has brand new tracks and all that, and widescreen, but this is pure Sonic 3 ported to another system, and it's the only version of that. And then there's the Sonic World, a
Right.
32-bit free-roaming Sonic game
The
where you
only
can
3D
do missions.
Sonic you got other than R.
Yeah.
And there's like a theater in there where you can watch commercials for the Japanese commercials for Sonic. There's Sonic CD cutscenes in there. I think this is an incredible game.
I agree.
cool.
I really enjoy Sonic Jam. I remember having a great time with it, and I loved the novelty of Sonic World. As janky as it was, looking back, it still was the first time we got to control Sonic in a true 3D space, which isn't insignificant. And I really had a good time uncovering all the missions in Sonic World. So I look back on Sonic Jam fondly, and the Saturn in general fondly.
I have to agree. So this is one of the games on this list that I still own. So I have Sonic Jam,
Nice.
and I acquired it in the most underhanded way possible.
Oh, no.
I rented it, and then I just refused to return it until they let me keep it.
That's
so
You're a criminal.
I thought you were going to say they waited till they went out of business, or you saw they were going out of business.
Oh
and you
no,
kept it.
so my rental place had a thing where like if the late fees stacked up too high, they just charged you for the game and you got to keep it. So I just
Yeah.
did that on purpose because I couldn't find Sonic Jam somewhere else.
Wow. Nice.
And yeah, sorry, all the best video. I don't think you exist anymore. But I would say this is solid A tier. Like I would like Sonic and Garfield notwithstanding, this one is A tier based on the actual quality of the games. And just the amount of extras. Plus, like John said, it's the only place on the Saturn where we got to play any kind of 3D Sonic, and it's awesome.
I would almost go S tier with this. I think
I'm
there's
close to
I
very
think
close.
this is one of those where we're going to stack the A tiers and then choose an
Yeah.
S from that, just so we have
Agreed.
a wide
Like,
range.
The
Yeah, that's a
only
good
reason
approach.
I'm not saying S tier right now is because we haven't heard arguments for the vast majority of the games on the
yes,
list.
yeah, that's a good point.
I have not played this. I don't think they advertised
what,
this that
though?
well because I had no idea this was a thing.
I'm-
and I owned a Saturn.
I'm
Go ahead,
comfortable
Steve.
putting this in S tier. I'm with John. I would put this in S tier, and I'd like to hear arguments to dethrone it because, like John
Yeah,
said, this
okay,
is
let's
like
do that.
a rare
I agree.
port.
I have not played this. Everything I've seen of it, though, this is mind-blowingly good for its time and still up to this time. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a port
Yeah.
of Sonic Jam.
No, honestly, it's an easy S tier just for the quality ports and the fact that you're, for the first time ever, getting to control Sonic in a 3D space. And it was all well done. I mean, looking back by today's standards, is 3D stuff well done? Okay, maybe it's a bit janky, but at the time, it was really damn cool. And there was a lot of, there were like little nooks and crannies and lots of cool little things to discover, even in that small Sonic, that small open area. There was a lot to discover.
And there's definitely games in this list with more volume. Like, there's definitely compilations with more games in. But just in terms of how you present them, like if I go back to play Sonic 3, like not counting Origins, this would be the version that I play. It's just the best version that they've ever released.
Although I do have to
Yeah.
point out, because some Sonic fan is going to drag us in the comments, technically not the very first time you could play Sonic in a 3D space. Because Christmas Nights came out in 1996.
Oh, good point.
right.
Good
That's
point.
true,
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
had forgotten
Right.
about that. Yeah.
I think there's a really good novelty as well because this is the case with certain compilations in here as well. But just the novelty of having the Sonic CD cutscenes, like the trailer for the OVA, just those extra things that you wouldn't normally get in compilations that are just not games, like the commercials as well, the art gallery. There's other examples in that and other collections here, but just having that as well also bumps it up, I think, because those are things that you can't really just find very easily just in that kind of environment. I don't know, it just adds to that whole experience, I think, and it makes Sonic Jam a really solid compilation.
Yeah, it's not just a list of games, there's like a full-on game in here. It's so good. And Daniel, you actually reminded me of this one, because Sonic Adventure DX, Director's Cut.
Right.
I don't necessarily think of it as a collection, but it really is. 'cause
totally
there's
is.
12
It
Game
is.
Gear games in here.
Pretty much the entirety of the Game Gear library, right?
Yeah,
It
which
is.
a lot of the following collections don't do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in here. So on top of getting Sonic Adventure, you get Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Blast, Sonic Drift, Sonic Drift 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Tails Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventure. All the Game Gear versions, I must emphasize. No Master System, which would have been nice considering Master System has most of those with a much bigger screen ratio. So you're dealing with Game Gear screen crunch for most of those. But that said, 12 extras. They didn't need to do that.
No.
This could have just been a Sonic Adventure port, and that could have been it. But no, they added 12 Game Gear games, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that
And
absolutely blew my mind. Like, I still have
Same.
a lot of these. I still have so many of these games. I'm holding more Game Gear above because I had this as a kid. Sonic Chaos and Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, which is really a hard game. But that aside, it was weird because I'm like feeling nostalgia in 2003, and I hate that as I say that now. I feel like I'm aging to dust.
Right.
But it was so cool to like go back and not only play games that I had in my old Game Gear from when I was even younger, but just to experience the Game Gear library this way. Like Sonic Triple Trouble, I never played that. That's actually a really fun game to play. At least
that's
compared with the other ones, yeah. And like Sky Patrol, Tails Adventure, I had never even heard of that at that point when I was playing games at that point. So it was really cool, and I think they were emulated very well. They ran very well within what I played in the GameCube version of DX. But what were you guys' experience?
I loved this collection because I have a soft spot for the Game Gear slash Master System slash 8-bit versions of Sonic, and I hadn't really gotten to play them since the Game Gear, and I didn't want to bring up my Game Gear every time I wanted to play these, but I do have a genuine appreciation for the 8-bit versions of like Sonic 1. Sonic 2 isn't as good, but Sonic 1, Tails Adventure is great, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Triple Trouble, and to have these in a format where I could play them on my TV with good, at least decent to good emulation, I really appreciated that out of this collection. So for me, I look back on Sonic Adventure Deluxe very fondly, specifically because of this 8-bit collection that was, compiled here. Yeah, Adventure itself was not the best port, obviously. It wasn't a great port of Sonic Adventure itself. But just the fact, the novelty of having all these mostly good to great, I would say, 8-bit Sonic games with a few stinkers. Obviously Sonic Labyrinth sucks, right? Sonic Spinball, Sonic Blast, But, I mean, honestly, just Sonic 1, Chaos, Triple Trouble, and Tails Adventure alone, I feel like makes this a really strong compilation.
I've got to think about this more when considering this game, to be honest, because I'm a big purist for the Dreamcast version, and I don't like a lot of what DX does.
Right.
Yeah.
But I never considered that it has 12 Game Gear games, and that's a huge point in its favor. I think that this genuinely is a good collection.
It's a good collection, but it's hard to view it as a compilation. They feel more like extras, especially when so many of these games are not great. As from a preservationist standpoint, it's great that they're here, that you can enjoy them. But, as mentioned, Blast, Spinball, Labyrinth, not good games at all.
Yeah. I will say no other collection has all the Game Gear games. They reappear, but not in one single collection. This is the only one.
Unique that way,
Yeah,
for sure.
but the Game Gear games are largely inferior versions of Master System games, which are inferior versions of Genesis games.
And none of these have Master System, by the way. So for whatever reason, they just don't re-release those. I don't know why.
I think if we put original games running on original hardware at C tier, I have a hard time saying that these games are better than that. I would say this is at best a C tier.
I would have put this at B, but I also would have put the Sonic Classics collection at B. So I'm a little bit
I would have put this at
askew compared to the rest of
just
you.
for-
I would have put this at B for me.
Okay, two Bs.
I'm split because on one hand, it's a collection of all the Game Gear games, which you really don't get anywhere else. But it's also a lot of the games aren't that great with a not great version of Sonic Adventure. If this was like the original great version of Sonic Adventure, easy B tier. But now I am split between B and C because of that and the quality of all this. So
If only we could put the
You're
top
deciding
half of
this,
the
Derek.
image in B.
oh boy, I decide again.
B for Bit Nerd. Come on,
Honestly-
man.
Gotta say,
Honestly, I do think
it does have triple trouble.
despite
in
its
it.
issues, and considering its time, I do think it's worthy of B tier.
There you
Okay.
go.
It's
I
not.
I respect that.
I know it's. I get your reasoning, Steve. I completely get it. But from with John mentioning that it's a lot of these aren't available anywhere else, maybe for good reason. There is that aspect I think kind of holds it up because it is that opportunity to play a lot of things that a lot of people might not have tried. Yeah, they're terrible, but hey, you got to say you played them.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's still worse than Sonic and Garfield, so you should be taking pride in that at least.
And come on, Game Gear or
Alright.
8-bit Sonic 1 gave us Bridge Zone, man, and Bridge Zone slaps.
That is true.
So
Yeah, we can't undo that.
Like I said, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Chaos, Triple Trouble, all great games.
Yeah.
Tails Adventure, great as well. I think it's about half and half on stinkers. And, I think Adventure DX has its issues, but it's still enjoyable.
I have a major love-hate relationship with Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, because I love the first stage's music, but oh my
Yeah.
god, that first boss is line is so hard.
It's not that
boss
bad on
fights
Master
are so
System, though.
hard.
Master System changes the speed, it changes how much room you have. Just it's
mean-
the Game Gear version that messed that up.
I could make it to the paragliding section.
Right.
Oh, Sky High Zone.
But I couldn't paraglide. I sucked at it.
It was so
And to this-
hard.
Yeah.
To this day, the 8-bit version of Sonic 2 is the only one that suggests that Tails actually dies if you don't
Yeah.
get the good ending, which is really messed up.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Let's move on to the next two, though, and these are very entwined. There's Mega Collection and Mega Collection Plus. We'll go on to Plus in a moment. But I think this is kind of the zone where a lot of maybe a certain generation of Sonic fans very much learned about the classics. This is kind of where I learned about the classics, to be honest. Mega Collection has an awesome presentation, really good music, and it comes with basically all the essentials. So starting with the GameCube one, which has Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, with lock-on for all of them. There's 3D Blast, Spinball, Mean Bean Machine, and then there's some unlockables as well, being the Blue Sphere, Flicky, Rise Star, the Ooze, Comic Zone, and also an art gallery featuring some comics, and also the Sonic CD, opening cutscene and ending. So how are we feeling about the GameCube version of Mega Collection?
That
I
is the
recall
one I
quite
have.
enjoying Mega Collection. I thought I was pretty happy with it at the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of the first Sonic compilations that I remember being truly excited for when it was coming out. And I snapped it up on day one when it came out for the GameCube way back when, because I'm old. And like Ash said, I really, really enjoyed my time with this on the GameCube. I would put this one at a solid A tier, because I didn't know at the time how rare it would be to get Sonic 3 on other collections.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
it's appreciated over time, in my opinion.
There's one big thing in its favor too. This is the very first 60 Hz version in Europe. So all other compilations and re-releases were 50 Hz. And funnily enough, Mega Collection Plus is 50 Hz. I don't know why that happened.
That's weird.
That's so stupid.
So
Backwards
Plus has
thinking.
more games, but yeah, they went back to 50.
Yeah, this is the version I went to for a long time to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But if you remember, you have to go through some loops in order to unlock these games as well.
Yeah, there's unlocks.
You have to like start up Sonic and 3 and also Sonic and Knuckles a certain amount of times before you get the complete version of it together, and also to unlock games like Flicky and Blue Sphere and all those as well. But
That's right.
But I mean, I still enjoy this for what it is so much. I spent a long time in the gallery section with that very nostalgic music that plays in the background as you read like
Hell yeah.
they had the entire like issue of
Oh,
Sonic
yeah.
First comic magazine. I got so invested because I love Saturn Sonic
so cool.
the cartoon, and to read that in comic form, I was so invested. I was devastated when it ended because I was like, no, I want to keep reading. But
It felt like it was more than just a list of ROMs. There was like a proper museum for Sonic, and
Yeah.
I think that the music really gave it that museum vibe, you know?
Yeah.
oh, for sure. That's
Yeah.
probably why Sonic Jam resonates so well too, because it has that kind of like not just the games themselves, but also presentation of other media that's gone across Sonic's legacy as well.
I missed out on this one, but just looking at it from a basic, I didn't know about the unlock process that Daniel talked about.
Yeah.
But just looking at that compilation and what's there, this is a great set. I've never played the Ooze, but Rystar and Comic Zone are great extras to go
Yeah.
along with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like just looking at it surface level, that's a good A tier to me.
It's going to become complicated with Plus, because that's kind of the same game but more. But I guess we can maybe rearrange things if need be.
But I think one thing that's important that I didn't realize, I never picked up Plus because I think Plus was just PlayStation and Xbox, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
No
It was.
GameCube.
I was Sonic at that point in my life was Nintendo or Sega only. But I hearing from you, John, that it drops down to 50 hertz. I think for me that's a solid negative against it. I would think that
Yeah,
puts it
Agreed.
below Sonic Mega Collection actually.
It's hard
Yeah.
to say, because in America and Japan it was still 60, but yeah, for Europe we were dealing with 50. Well, before we judge Plus, let me just tell you what it adds. So it's got everything from Mega Collection, but there's also a few Game Gear games. There's Sonic 1, Labyrinth, Drift, Chaos, Blast, and the Game Gear version of Mean Bean Machine. So we're dealing with a much
Yeah.
smaller and questionable lineup compared to what Adventure gave us. I'm not quite sure why you'd do Labyrinth and not
Yeah.
like Sonic 2 or
Triple
Triple Trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like, the
is
only
like-
good ones in here are Sonic 1 and Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mean Bean for the 8-bit version of Mean Bean might be okay, but that's kind of what I was going to say, Derek, is like, not only, what as you said, John, it scales things back to the 50 hertz versions in the UK, at least, in Europe, but the games that are added here, of the 6, only 2 are definitely good, maybe Mean Bean Machine, the 8-bit version. I'm not sure, I never played it that I can remember, but it's a very uneven lineup of games they added, and they could have added better ones. Sonic Triple Trouble, as you said, Derek. Sonic 2, Tails Adventure. So honestly, all those things put together kind of make me want to rank this lower than Mega Collection, the regular Mega Collection.
I think I can agree with that. I think people seeing a screenshot of this are going to think we're crazy, but with that justification, I think I can agree that's a lower tier.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that despite the fact that having more, it feels like less.
It was more bloated.
Yeah, and it feels like they were being stingy, because why add the 8-bit games that they did? I mean, they could have added just the good ones, but at least half of these are stinkers. And for players in the UK and Europe, you got worse versions of the really good games in this collection that you already had in the regular Mega Collection. So yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the big knock against it.
Yeah.
If it had all the
Yeah.
Game Gear games like Adventure DX, I think it'd be equal to.
So this next collection, I think, is fascinating because a
Same.
lot of these games are just like, let's do Sonic 1 again, let's do Sonic 2 again. This doesn't do that.
No.
PS2, GameCube, Xbox, they already had those games. So instead of that, Sonic Gems Collection gave us Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, Sonic R, and then the Game Gear versions of Sonic 2, Triple Trouble, Spinball, Drift, Drift 2, Sky Patrol, Tails Adventure, but also Vector Man 1 and 2, Bonanza Bros, and then Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. I think this is crazy for this collection because it's not just emulation for a lot of these games either. Like Sonic CD, R, and the Fighters were all ported to PS2, GameCube, and Xbox.
Yeah.
I think they're done from the PC versions, which already existed. But Sonic the Fighters didn't. That was only in arcades, and they brought it to consoles for the very first time. Sonic R left the Saturn for the very first time. Sonic CD left CD and PC for the very first time. I think this is a cool collection, but I don't know how to rank it.
I mean, I think just for the novelty alone for these games that you wouldn't... I mean, this was back, as you kind of touched on, John, this was back when Sonic CD was still considered the lost Sonic game, the rare one that so many fewer people had played. So that alone makes it really exciting relative to the time it was released.
I remember back in the day, everybody said, I think it's because nobody was able to really play it, but those who did play it loved Sonic CD, and they said it's the best Sonic game. I don't agree with that now, but, but it is one of those things where it just had that much hype and word behind it. And honestly, if you combine Mega Collection Plus and Gems Collection, you have a hell of a collection in that set. Splitting them up though makes it interesting, and I'd say from a preservation standpoint and just how wacky some of these choices are, I think Gems Collection is honestly stronger than Mega Collection Plus.
I agree.
I think I agree with that.
And the menu music is also really good. It's got some great menu music in Gems Collection.
A long time ago, my dad bought me the PC version of Sonic CD, and I thought it was a bootleg because it just looked so different. It didn't appear like the other Sonic games at all. I saw the sprite for Sonic 2, but you know, the as you might have remembered, the design layout of the way the zones were made, just the color palette just didn't look the same. And when I finally found out that it was a real thing, it's going to come to GameCube, I reserved this game like day one. I wanted to really just play and get immersed with it. It was when I found out that this only had the USA version of the soundtrack by Spencer Nielsen. We didn't.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's when I looked up the music and I discovered the Japanese version of the soundtrack, and I was like, wow, a lot of these tracks are better. Some tracks are better. I think I like tracks from both versions as well.
I do. To be fair, I do too. I prefer the Japanese European soundtrack overall, but there are some really strong tracks in the US version for sure.
Yeah, that soundtrack was wild, and I was sad that we didn't get like the true Japanese soundtrack, or at least the option to switch between the other soundtrack as we have now. But yeah, just having that game was such a novelty. An arcade game like Sonic the Fighters, some of the better Game Gear games, 8-bit games like Sonic 2, Triple Trouble, and I unironically really like Vector Man. I had that Genesis game. That was another thing that sold me on that. I was like, oh my god, I want to play Vector Man again. Hell yeah.
Okay, I got to point something out though. You glossed over a certain game there, Daniel, that I have to mention. And to my mind, I know, you all know how I am about music, but Sonic R's soundtrack alone makes this an S tier. Sonic R's soundtrack alone makes this S tier. I'm sorry, it does. But realistically, I know that's not true. But Sonic R, I have a soft spot for. It's not a very good game, but it's got so much 90s energy to it. It's just, I love Sonic R, and that soundtrack is god tier. Seriously.
People can say Sonic R's bad, but every time I play it, I have a good time.
Me too.
And to me, that's not bad.
Yeah. You know what you're getting into when you play Sonic R. I think that's the big thing.
For sure.
And this is kind of cool. I'm reading here that the port of Sonic R here had a much improved draw distance over any previous version of the game.
That's right.
So that's kind of cool,
Saturn
actually.
had like a really foggy... Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot of music remixes that you can unlock as well.
I remember that. Yep, there were.
Yeah.
So
this is a really good collection. If you combine Mega Collection and Gems, you're living large. It's definitely... like the Game Gear selection is still a bit odd. Like, it has all the stuff, it basically has all the stuff Mega Collection Plus didn't have. So if you combine them, you get everything Sonic Adventure DX had, but separately they don't have
so
this.
Weird.
Right.
But I think we're still judging this primarily on Sonic R, Sonic the Fighters, and also what was the other one?
Sonic CD.
And Sonic CD, yeah. That's the main one. Yeah.
Especially given
Yeah.
that it was still considered very rare and the lost Sonic game at the time, I feel comfortable giving this an A. I look back upon Jim's collection very fondly from what I remember.
I agree because there's a lot of novelty here. Even today, a lot of these don't get re-released.
I say A.
All right. I think we're all agreed on that
Yeah,
then.
go for it.
Okay, this one's probably going to be a fairly quick one. So, this came to PS2 and PSP, and it's the Sega Mega Drive Collection, or the Sega Genesis Collection. And it got a sequel on 360 and PS3, just expanding the lineup. But what's odd about this is it didn't have Sonic 3, and this was before all the Jackson stuff. So it's just Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and a bunch of other Mega Drive and Genesis games. Now that is selling the collection short, but if we're judging it just as a Sonic collection, it is missing a lot of stuff. But it does have stuff like Phantasy Star 2, 3 and 4, Shinobi 3, Rise Star, the Golden Axe trilogy, Echo the Dolphin, so there is good stuff in there.
I would argue that I'm probably the biggest Genesis fan of our group. I grew up with this thing, and I would say this is a D tier
Really?
compilation
Yeah.
because
Wow.
it's an A tier Genesis compilation. But as a Sonic compilation,
Sure,
there's
okay.
nothing here.
It's just Sonic 1 and
games.
2. Yeah.
I do think being on PSP is very cool. This is the first handheld Mega Drive Genesis version of these games, but that said, it's still just Sonic 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
this is, at the end of the day, a Sonic compilation tier list, not a Genesis compilation tier list. So,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'd say
Mega
a better,
Drive, so.
as you mentioned, John, a better collection is right after it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, are we agreed on D tier for that one?
I think D.
I have the
Yeah.
familiarity, but yeah, as far as Sonic is concerned, yeah, there's it has less than the Jet Mega Drive compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so the next one came to 360 and PS3, and this is Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, but in Europe it didn't have Sonic in the title, it was just Sega Mega Drive
Okay.
Ultimate Collection.
Yeah.
But this one's a really good one. So it's got all the games from the PSP and PS2 collection, but it has way more Sonic stuff and also a few more extra, just Mega Drive and Genesis stuff. So in this, we basically got all the games. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, 3D Blast, Mean Bean Machine, and then just all the other Mega Drive Genesis games. Obviously, no Game Gear stuff, no Master System stuff, and no like Sonic CG, Jam, and Fighter stuff.
And no Sonic
Right.
3 and Knuckles.
Oh, was there no Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
No, it did not have. You could not
Were there-
link them.
Oh,
You
you
couldn't.
know
They were
that one.
separate.
Right.
I remember that distinctly from this collection. There was no way
forgot
to
that
link
you couldn't
Sonic
link
and
them in
That
Knuckles.
does set it
one.
back
That's
then.
crazy.
That is
That's a big
its
setback.
one big knockback. But as a Genesis collection, like this, like I was a Genesis kid, and this still opened me up to so many games I had not played before that are so fantastic. As a collection itself, this is easily a
It's a really
tier,
good-
reaching
yeah.
on S
It's
tier.
very good.
As far as Sonic representation, it gets your basics in there. You're missing out again the big one, the having
Yeah.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a complete thing, but I'd still rank this pretty high. But that's, I mean, I just
Ooh.
really enjoy this collection.
I'd also emphasize that they also split a lot of these games up. So on like 360 and PS3, you can buy them individually. So if you want to buy just like Golden Axe or Sonic 1 or Sonic 2, you can do that. However, as of Sonic Origins, they delisted most 2D Sonic games. So on Steam, on Xbox,
Yeah.
on PlayStation 3, most of those are gone. So the original version of Sonic 3 can no longer just be bought individually on any platform. But you can still obviously get a disc of this and play Sonic 3 on 360 and PS3. So that doesn't take anything away. But I think it's kind of cool that they split these up. So if you didn't want to buy the whole set, you could just buy like one game.
Man, the fact that you can't link Sonic 3 and Knuckles, though, that definitely does set it back a little bit.
I agree.
But as
actually.
Derek said,
Cardinal
though,
sin.
Larry,
yeah,
nice.
exactly. And this is a bit of kind of an ancillary point, but just seeing 3D Blast in any of these collections just makes me sad that Sega have never re-released or ported the Saturn version of 3D Blast with its
Yeah.
incredible soundtrack. It never has. It's trapped on the Saturn, which sucks. But anyway,
It
Actually-
looks totally different too. Like the visuals are way
they're
different.
better. They're better.
Is this our first port of 3D Blast?
No,
in
there's
the
one up
collection?
above.
I believe it
No,
was in
Mega
Mega
Collection
Collection.
had 3D Blast.
Yeah, 3D Blast or Mega.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it was. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? Daniel, what are your thoughts? A tier or B tier?
Oh man. God.
Daniel's gonna be like D tier. hate this collection.
Yeah, just the fact that it's missing the lock-on technology that we needed for Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a glaring omission. Gosh, I as far as a Sonic collection would be, compared to what we have right now, I would probably put this in a B tier.
I would argue that it's a C tier. I think it's a B tier if lock-on worked. I think it's a C tier because lock-on doesn't work. I just think that these games are at the point that this was released, these games are available in most of the collections we've listed already. Like every single game is represented in another collection, and many of them do it better.
I will say I am being pretty influenced by the sheer fact of other Genesis games in there.
Right.
And
like,
that's not
as
the
a collection
point.
itself.
Right.
I know it's not the point, but dude, this has Phantasy Star 1 through 4 in it.
I love Phantasy Star. It's one of my favorite series of all time. But if I'm judging this based on Sonic's presentation only, and
No, you know what?
I feel
Yeah.
that Sonic that the lack of lock-on drags this down a full grade, and I think it's B at best when you consider when you look at the games that are on there, and not being able to use Sonic and Knuckles to its full potential lowers it further, in my opinion.
See, I thought not having lock-on dragged it from an A to a B, but you know what, Steve? I think you've swayed me. I think it might actually knock it from a B to a C for me.
If we're looking at it as purely Sonic, then yeah, I think Steve swayed me.
Okay.
I love this collection, though. I'll put it out there.
It's a good collection.
Yeah,
See,
it's a good collection. Yeah.
It's a passing grade.
So our next one, this is interesting because it's the final console release of Sonic 3. It did release on Steam a year later, but in terms of just consoles, this contains Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic & Knuckles on Nintendo DS. Now that said, we had far more in collections on prior consoles. We've had like Sonic 3D Blast, we've had these Game Gear games, we've had, there's been a lot more. And this is kind of bare bones, especially as something that was like a full-price DS game. So what are we thinking about this?
But it does have lock-on.
It does have lock-on. I did check
lock-on.
that. It has lock-on and has the ability to save at any point as well.
It claims 4 games in one. Technically, it is 4 games in one. We'll give them that.
I definitely don't think it's a B tier. I think...
No, I don't think so either.
Again, I have to weigh in the time at which these released, and I feel like we're talking C tier at best, in my opinion. I think that it had all been done at this point. There's nothing novel about this.
Like, we've had handheld Sonic on PSP already with Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and that obviously had like a ton of other Mega Drive games. There's like 30 in there, and we have 4 here. But that said, this didn't have Sonic 3.
Yeah, that didn't have Sonic 3, so it didn't have the lock-on. This does have the lock-on for both Sonic 2 and 3, so...
Yeah.
I think that does make it inherently stronger, plus DS was a bit more common than point.
That's true.
I think-
Though I'd rather play Sonic on a nice, big PSP screen than a DS screen.
I think this is probably a solid C for me. I don't think it's quite... Because, I mean, you still can't sneeze at the fact that it does have, Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. Those are 4 fantastic games. You've got lock-on. Yes, I mean, I definitely, in terms of when it came out, these games have been available in other compilations. But these are still solid ports of 4 very good games compared to the last thing we talked about, which didn't have lock-on. So
it's something for new parents to be like their kids are getting older and they want their own, like, hey, I like Sonic as a kid. This will shut you up in the car for a bit. It's good for that.
I guess the audience probably been staring at this one thinking this is not a compilation. Technically it is. The entirety of Sonic 1 is playable within Sonic Generations.
Which is so
this is a compilation of Sonic Generations
makes me want
and
to shed
Sonic 1.
tears.
yeah.
What a
So
celebration.
we're not talking about all the levels that's that's not a compilation. That's a new game.
Yeah.
So we're purely
only-
judging this having Sonic 1 in.
I hate having to put this beautiful boy on
This
a
hurts
D
my
tier.
heart. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Sonic Generations is a fantastic game, but
It's
we're only
worth buying
talking
on its
about-
own,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
as far as a compilation, it's like, well, you get Generations is great, Sonic 1 is great, but it's also been played on every other
It's on
freaking thing.
everything. Yeah. So I mean, the Sonic Generations itself is an amazing game, but if we're only talking about it as a compilation of older Sonic games, it's only got Sonic 1. It's a D. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this one I find fascinating. So this is the Sega 3D Classics collection. Here in the West, we got one physical collection, which did have Sonic on, that was Sonic 1, but unfortunately, we didn't get any of the other ones. Now, they did release on the eShop, so we've got 3D Classics Sonic 2, which you can play, but that's not a compilation. But over in Japan, they got all 3 of them in 3 different sets, and then they finally released them as a 3-in-1 bundle. So this is the Sega 3D Classics 3-in-1. And there's a huge list of games, basically every 3D Classics game they did on 3DS. And it's a similar situation to Sonic Jam, where they ported them natively to 3DS and gave them pure stereoscopic visuals. And I think they're incredible.
I agree.
I think these are some of the best ones.
It's completely agree, John. The 3D Classics versions of the classic Genesis, they were all really well done. And not only that, but remember, like Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 3D Classics, they also added other features. Like Sonic 1 had the spin dash. Sonic 1 added the spin dash.
Yeah.
I believe, if I remember correctly, Sonic 1 also may have added Supersonic, maybe?
Not the Supersonic might be noble, but I believe, if I remember correctly in my little bit of research about the Sonic compilation, the very first one we covered, I feel like one of these really early games might have added the spin dash to
Sonic
1 as
Jam.
well.
Sonic Jam
Jam,
added the
wasn't
spin
it?
dash.
Sonic
Even
Jam
more
added
reason
it,
for
yeah.
it to be S tier.
Yeah.
But these, I mean, if you want to acknowledge all the other games in this set, I think this is one of the best values on 3DS. I think a lot of these got overlooked on the eShop. They're like, it's just Mega Drive games again. But no, they are so well done. And I love the Sega Ages line on Switch, but it's kind of hard to buy a lot of those for a premium price when,
Right.
you know, they have done them up again. They also look so similar. But the stereoscopic 3D visuals put this over the edge for me.
Easily agree with you, John. Like, this is
Yeah.
honestly, like, if you include all the non-Sonic games, which I know we're not for this, but if you were, this is easy S tier for me. And
Yeah.
even without that, it could be S for me as well. But if not, it's easily A minimum, because the
But
stereoscopic
there's no
visuals
Sonic
were-
3 though. That's the problem.
I
We got
know.
Pio,
Yeah.
which I guess
Yeah,
is Dr.
it's
Robotnik's Mean
only
Bean
two.
Machine.
It's only two
no.
games, and I don't know if two games with 3D visual effects
But
is
they're
enough to put
so
it in A tier for
good,
me.
though.
Yeah,
They're so
it's
good.
definitely
Part
tough
of
because I agree that they're extremely high quality ports, and they add new things that are novel.
Yeah.
They make good use of the platform's unique strengths with the 3D. But I'm kind of waffling on it, whether it's a B or an A, because
It's
like
only
Derek
1 and
said,
2.
at the end of the day, it's just two games.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they're
I think Daniel's going to break this then.
Yeah.
I can't go below B. I cannot go below B with this.
No, it's
no,
not,
no,
it's
we're not
not
going
below
below
B.
B, no
I
way.
agree. It's not below B.
Yeah, you're really balancing
Man.
like quality over quantity with this one because it's just the amount that you get from Sonic 1 and 2. But it still is just two games as far as on a tier list with Sonic compilations. So I would at least say it's at a B for me, honestly.
Okay.
You know what?
I'll accept it.
I'm a sucker for really good stereoscopic 3D visuals, and I'm sticking with A. I get it. I get everyone's arguments. I get it. But personally, I got to stick with A, even if it is just
I'm with
Sonic
you.
1 and 2.
Oh, I get it. I get it. But I
Yeah.
think with only 1 and 2, and especially with how often they've been re-released, I don't know. I've not had a chance to try Sonic 2 with stereoscopic, and I enjoyed Sonic 1 with stereoscopic 3D, but I don't think it was enough to really like change the game for me. You know, it's
That's
really
fair.
good, but doesn't change it fundamentally.
Okay, so this next one, technically there's two different releases of this. There's a Steam version, which came out like a decade ago, and then there's also the PlayStation 4, Switch, and Xbox version. This is Sega Mega Drive Classics, or Sega Genesis Classics, and it contains Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3D Blast, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, basically everything apart from Sonic 3, at least on the Mega Drive. But the kicker is, the Steam version had all those delisted. So at least Sonic 1, 2, and 3. You can still get the spin-offs. So anything that's in Sonic Origins is no longer on Steam. And that did include Sonic 3 in their version, because that predated all the Jackson stuff. But yeah, no longer. So I don't think we can even rank that one. So I'm purely ranking PS4, Switch, and Xbox,
Right.
which doesn't have Sonic 3, but it does have all the other games and a bunch of other Mega Drive ones. But I do recall a lot of complaints about emulation quality
I do
for this
too.
one.
I recall
Yeah.
that. I like this collection, just on its face. I've spent quite a bit of time with it, but not just as a Sonic collection. I've enjoyed it as a Genesis collection, Mega Drive collection. So, yeah, and if we're only talking about the Sonic games, especially if there are emulation issues, it's hard to rank this too highly.
Well, here's the thing
But it
too.
did have- yeah.
We can't put it in C because Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection had Sonic 3 in it. And
I
this
was
doesn't.
going to
Right.
mention it. It has Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. That's a hell of a title to say. Has all the games that this Mega Drive Classics has, plus Sonic 3, even though it doesn't have lock-on, and better emulation. I think this has to go in D tier.
So we're putting it in the same tier as Sonic Generations, which only has Sonic 1.
Oh no.
That's so sad. I mean, to be fair, we still have Sonic and Garfield in A tier, so this is always going to be a bit of a...
yeah, Sonic and Garfield should be down at D, but we know.
Yeah.
Right.
If there were another tier, I think Sonic Generations would be down here somewhere, but...
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
barely,
unfortunately, we only have these.
barely
Oh my.
barely a compilation tier.
So
Yeah.
I'm just learning this, John. I had to fact check you on the Steam version of this game. I've owned the Steam version of this game for years now, and I've bragged about it a lot on GVG, specifically on TNT and GVG Cast, because one of my favorite things about it was being able to sit down and play old Sonic games in VR, which to me was a huge selling point.
In VR.
But my Sonic games are gone from my already installed
Yeah.
version of the
Oh,
game.
no.
They took them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they
Took it
took
from
the
you.
ones that you've already got installed?
Yeah, I had the game installed,
nuts.
and all the Sonic games are gone from the installed
that's not
version that I own.
Wild.
That feels illegal.
robbed.
Yeah, it really does.
I feel like
stuff
that
you've got,
alone locks this into D
D tier.
for
This
me.
is
Fuck
D
that
tier.
game.
That's an insult.
That's
God.
ridiculous.
That's really
ridiculous.
upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
That's
Yeah.
no good.
Oh, we're nearing the end, though. We've got the Sega Genesis app on Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh boy.
When asking about this tier list, I asked if we could have Virtual Console. You guys said no. But then I thought, this is a compilation, though. This
It
isn't
is.
just one
It
game.
is.
Yeah.
This could become outdated, because as of right now, we actually have very few games. We've got Sonic 2, and we've got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. We don't have Sonic 1. We don't have Sonic 3D Blast. We have nothing else. However, you can play it online. So this
We also
is
have
the
Sonic
only
Spinball,
version.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sonic Spinball got added.
Sonic
That's right,
Spinball.
Ash, yeah.
Not that that's a.
But you can play this online, though,
forget
too.
Sonic
So you can
Spinball.
play online Sonic 2. So how much do we value that?
I mean, did people really play multiplayer Sonic?
You know,
Which the
I might be the
whole
lone
Switch
defender
now.
here. I like split screen Sonic versus like multiplayer. I
I
think
played
it's
it a
fun.
bit as a kid.
I think
I mean,
it's fun.
even disregarding split screen, though, like if you're playing online, one person can be Tails in single
That's
player.
true,
I think
too.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 I
And
think the
online
novelty.
Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah, online Puyo Puyo essentially with Sonic themed. I feel like the novelty of being able to play those online, and two of these three games being one being fantastic and one being pretty great. I would give this maybe C.
It doesn't have a lot of games, though, and we've used that justification
Right.
for not
Yeah, I
putting
think it's D
Sega
in
Mega
my
Drive
opinion.
Collection
Is
any
it D?
higher.
It doesn't have a lot of games. It has as many games as Sonic Compilation. It's not native, but it has online. So which is more important, valuable to us? The fact that the compilation is a native, like just a straight, like on the core system itself, plays exactly as it does on the Genesis, or the fact that we have online availability for all these games. Well, Sonic 2 and Mean Bean Machine.
Right.
And I think
I honestly
think
don't know.
I think the online value is enough to put it in there, to put it up to C.
I'll say one more valuable
going with
thing
C.
too. You can change region, so you've got the Japanese
that's cool.
versions and the English versions, and there are big differences.
That's fair. I would say C
Yeah.
is warranted.
point.
There's enough
gonna
tricks you
say
could
C.
do with this to make it a little bit more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brings us towards the very end with Sonic Origins, and this, it's almost like another Sonic Jam, but I don't know where I put this yet. So Sonic Origins, we've got native ports of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and the very first release of Sonic 3 since 2011, I want to say, and Sonic and Knuckles, of course. And there's also a bunch of other extras. So of course they're in widescreen. They're based on the mobile versions, which released also like a decade ago, but not for Sonic 3, which is now widescreen for the very first time. We've also got animated cutscenes, which is massive. There's a bunch of extras. There's an anniversary mode which ditches lives. There's coins that you can use to unlock things. You can listen to soundtracks from prior games. There's really cool menus.
There's a mission mode.
There's a mirror mode.
Mission mode. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. How are we? Where do we rank this?
Well, I think we have to really, at least for me personally, I consider the fact that we finally have the mobile versions on the big screen for the first time ever, and that's not insignificant. We got Hidden Palace Zone in Sonic 2. We got Tails and
Yeah.
Knuckles in Sonic 1 with their own roots added to the original level designs. That's huge to me.
It's our first.
And
It's massive.
I've wanted that for years. I've wanted those definitive versions off of iOS and Android for years. So that alone for me,
And Sonic 3 as well is not insignificant. Of course,
Yeah.
they don't have the original tracks. They've gone back to the prototype ones, and they've done new versions, which I would argue are not great.
They don't sound
I think
as good.
they're not good.
Well, I have to compare it directly. If we're considering it for S tier, Sonic Jam only had 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles.
Yeah.
No CD, which Sonic Origins does have.
Right.
And it's honestly a comparison of extras at this point, because we got the whole Sonic world for Jam, while Origins has the mirror mode, the mission stuff, and the animated cutscenes that just up the presentation and actively adding and fixing things from those games. And that's what makes it, I think that's why, if a game could be considered S, and I've not played this, that's why there's a bit of an argument for it to approach that S tier, and maybe still, and even though it has less than the ones that we have in A tier, is still better. I don't know, but I've not played it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
That
it's hard to
said,
say.
Sonic
I mean,
Jam has value of
Yeah.
having the original soundtrack of Sonic 3 natively ported, whereas this doesn't. But, I think widescreen and Sonic is a beautiful combination. It changes everything. Like, there's certain enemies that you might not be
Yeah.
able to react to in 4x3, but in widescreen, it just changes the flow of the entire game.
And it's got those gorgeous animated cutscenes. Plus, it has a really cool quality of life feature where you can spend a coin to retry failed special stages if you don't get the Chaos Emerald. And that
Right.
is really good for new players, and even some not new players. Like, I was never that good at the Blue Sphere games in Sonic and Knuckles. I memorized the ones in Sonic 3, but I was never really good at getting the Super Emeralds. So it's actually really nice to have that retry feature, I think.
So I think this is one thing that we haven't talked about, is that this is one of the only compilations in the list that actually provides brand new content. Similar to when Chrono Trigger re-released on the PlayStation, I was really hyped just to see those animated cutscenes. So I'm excited to have those as something new. They've made some subtle under the hood improvements, like that 3D rotational supersonic stuff like that. I think it pushes it a cut above for me. I would say I keep vacillating between B and A for this one.
But I at least feel comfortable putting an A, and a solid A too, because not only did you, like you said, Steve, the new content, but also, again, these are the Taxman iOS versions or mobile versions of Sonic 1 and 2 on the big screen, finally, with a proper controller, unless you want to hook your controller up to your phone, which I don't know about you guys, but I don't. So, you can play Hidden Palace Zone on the big screen.
Beta for me wasn't even a consideration, to be honest. I'm going between
Agreed.
S and A.
Oh,
'cause
wow.
These will be the best versions of these games. Like, I've played the mobile versions of 1, 2, and CD so much. Like, if I'm waiting
Yeah.
for a train or something, I'll just boot up Sonic 2 and just play through it if I have enough time. And like, just playing it in widescreen, it's massive. The frame rate increase for special stages is massive.
Yeah.
Having Hidden Palace Zone is huge. Like, jumping into in Mystic Cave Zone when you fall down the pit and you just go to
That is so cool that they use the supersonic trap. That's how you get there. That's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're judging it just by purely how I'd want to play these Sonic games, I think this is probably better than anything else here. But when it comes to the value of what it's compiling, that's the question. But if I were to just play Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, or CD, I'd boot up Origin.
Even just like one other extra little thing is that the fact that this game can be on Switch, you can put it on, you can dock it on the television or take it with you handheld, and that's not something that you can do with some of these other ones. Is have that option between
That's true.
A docked or handheld and take it with you on the go, which I think adds some more value to it as well. So this is honestly at least an A tier for me for what it offers, new and old, and just being able to have so many options with certain aspects of these games.
I was so curious about, like, 'cause I was thinking, like, all right, let's take a look at value here. And I found a listing of how much Sonic Jam cost when it first released on the Saturn. $40, same as Sonic
Okay.
Origins. So
Oh, wow.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, this
Nice.
is the question, which is actually better? Because I think Sonic Jam has the value of being the original Mega Drive versions ported to a more powerful system that has no slowdown. I think that is incredibly important. And for its time, that's good value. It's the three of the biggest games from the previous system, and then a bunch of cool extras with the hub world and all those trailers and everything. But then Sonic Origins has the same games, with CD as well, in a better presentation. Does that make it a better game?
Man, I mean, you have to take into account when they were, the context of when they were released too. I mean, I think the fact that it's hard, right? Because it has content that wasn't introduced until after Sonic Jam came out, years after Sonic Jam came out. It's based on the better iOS versions, but those weren't even a consideration back during the Saturn days.
Sure.
So it's hard to compare the two, right? And go ahead,
I feel like there's more effort in the presentation in a game like Sonic Jam because they built like a whole 3D overworld for Sonic to run around at a time where really we only had one other example of that.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
But
I'm also looking up differences from the Mega Drive games on Sonic Retro. And one of the things that might affect Ash, going back to it, is most music tracks have a slight delay before playing due to the CD loading times, and the sound effects have been sampled at Jam, and sound effects have been sampled at a lower quality or replaced. Now there's obviously options to. There's definitely things that fix aspects of it, like they completely removed the spinning barrels from Carnival Night Zone.
that's funny.
Oh, that's
I forgot about that.
I remember Sonic Jam has difficulty modes actually too. So there's an easy mode and a normal mode. And I think normal presented it as it was. I think easy removed some stuff. I think is that what you're talking about, or is it just removed
guess
in all
so.
versions?
I think it might even be removed in the normal version. It doesn't.
That's interesting, but I can't quite remember. Also, it just hit me. Sonic Origins also has the drop dash in there.
That's also
does.
huge. Because the drop dash to me was one of the single most brilliant additions ever to the 2D Sonic games.
Yeah,
Because
it kept momentum just continuously flowing.
Well, not just that, it gave you a reason to play as Sonic other than just liking Sonic.
Yeah.
Because now he has something that only he can do. Tails and Knuckles are always as fast in the 2D games, which made no sense to me. So now he has something only he can do, and I think that's a pretty big deal. And Derek, that's a good point with the music loading in late, but at the same time, I would argue that what is lost on that side with Sonic Jam is equal-ish to what is lost on the Origin side with the loss of the Genesis versions of Ice Cap, Carnival Night, and Launch Base, in addition to the fact that the versions and origins of the prototype music is worse than the actual prototype music.
So we're kind of going in circles for where we're going to rank this thing then, because we can't have 2 on S.
I can have 2 on S, but I will make one compelling argument that I just discovered in Sonic Jam's favor. And I'm going to put it in our Discord crew so you can see it. There was a special Sonic Jam.
Jam?
All right, that wins.
S tier,
That's
baby.
amazing. S tier.
It's very funny that Sonic Origins is in the same tier as Sonic and Garfield pack.
I mean, that was
God,
kind of
Not
our,
really, but you know.
that was our
We
shit
definitely
post.
needed 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed 2 more tiers in here. We needed one for Sonic Generations to go down, and I think Origins probably belongs in its own tier, just above A tier. You know, just
Agreed.
below
Like
Sonic
A
Jam.
A plus
tier.
A plus
Yeah.
tier.
A plus
So,
tier,
so
yeah.
do we want to officially end this video enshrining Sonic and Garfield in A tier, or should we move it
Yes.
to a more? Okay, I'm down. I'm fine with that. That wasn't a leading. That was
Alright.
not a leading question. I'm fine keeping it an A. Let's do it.
Okay, well, this is our official ranking of the Sonic compilations. No one can argue with us,
Right.
but you can try and do it by making your own. I'll provide a link in the description below if you want to rank your own Sonic compilations. Tweet at us at GVGofficial, and you can show us your tier lists, and we can try and be kind and say yours is okay, but really we know the true ranking. And Ash, we've got Patreon stuff, don't we?
We do, yeah. Head on over to our Patreon, as I just said, patreon.com/GVGaming, where we offer a variety of tiers you can support us at. One of our most popular tiers is our $5 live audience tier, where you can chat with us live during our weekly GVG cast, various discussions. It's a lot of fun. We also have a very popular Fight a Founder tier, where you can play whatever games you want with us GVG co-founders once a month. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, head on over there, check us out. We really appreciate it. But if you can't support us there, we understand. Just like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been a lot of fun. Daniel, you can say the final word. Is there anything on this list that you would have changed?
Don't play Garfield caught in the act ever in your life. I don't know why it's there. Even if you move it now, it's too late. It's already solidified. My heart is hurt. But yeah, thank you.
Baku Baku!
Baku Baku. It makes all the difference, of course. What was I thinking?
Bye, everyone.
To the game, all.